Your living room sets the tone for how you live every single day. It's where some of the best memories are made, sharing stories with friends, celebrating milestones, or just enjoying an ordinary Tuesday night. It's also the place where you unwind at the end of a long day, curled up with a blanket and recharging. More than almost any other room in the house, it reflects both how you connect with others and how you take care of yourself. But here's the challenge. Most living rooms lean too far into one direction. Some are designed as showpieces for entertaining, beautiful, but not really livable. Others are built purely for lounging. Comfortable, yes, but not quite ready for company. The truth is, the best living rooms need to be able to do both. And that balance between the two is what we're exploring today. Welcome back to Design Unscripted. I'm Manuela Moreira, and in this episode, I'll share what makes the space work beautifully for hosting and what makes it truly comfortable for relaxing, and how to design a living room that serves you in every way. Let's start with the entertaining side. A living room designed for hosting is all about flow and connection. Think about how people will move through the space. Do you have clear walkways? Can your guests easily set down a drink without awkwardly stretching across the room? Seating really sets the tone for how a living room works. The arrangement of your furniture dictates whether the space feels inviting or disconnected. If all you have is one oversized sofa pushed up against the wall, the room can feel flat and lifeless. It doesn't encourage interaction. Instead, think in terms of groupings. A sofa paired with a couple of chairs creates an instant conversation circle where people can actually face each other. If you have the space, adding a second seating area, maybe two chairs angled towards each other with a small table in between them, creates another intimate spot for connection. And don't forget about flexibility. Benches, stools, or ottomans are great because they can move to wherever they're needed. For your regular day to day, they might act as a footrest or styled accent piece. But the moment more people walk in the door, they double as extra seating without making the room feel overcrowded. The goal is to design seating that feels intentional and layered, a mix of pieces that not only look good, but also make it effortless for people to gather, relax, and feel at ease. Then there are surfaces. Coffee tables, side tables, console tables, even a few nesting tables tucked away. These aren't just decorative pieces, they're functional lifelines when hosting. Think about it. When someone walks into a living room with a drink or a plate of snacks, the first thing they subconsciously scan for is where to put it down. If those landing spots don't exist, or if there's just one coffee table in the middle of the room, guests end up balancing glasses in their hands or awkwardly leaning forward across the room. That instantly makes the space feel less comfortable, no matter how beautiful it is. The goal is to make surfaces feel natural and effortless. A side table next to a chair, a coffee table that's big enough for drinks and styling, nesting tables you can bring in when you need them or tuck away when you don't. When surfaces are placed with intention, the room does the work for you, so hosting feels seamless instead of stressful. And once you've set your seating and surfaces, the next layer that really transforms an entertaining space is lighting. Lighting can quite literally make or break how your living room feels. Too often, people default to just one source, usually an overhead light source, and it ends up feeling harsh and flat. On the flip side, relying only on lamps can leave the room feeling dark and unbalanced, especially when you are entertaining a larger group. The real magic is layering. Start with overhead lighting for general brightness. It's your foundation. Then add sconces or floor lamps to create warmth and soften the atmosphere. And always remember to build in dimmers whenever possible so you can adjust the mood depending on the occasion. Think a moodier dinner party that feels best with dim and warm lighting, while a game night with friends benefits from light that's balanced. Bright enough for the games, but still warm and inviting. Think of lighting as a tool to set the energy of the room. It's not just about function, it's about creating ambiance. And when you get that mix right, people often don't just notice the lighting itself. They notice how the room feels inviting and comfortable. The best entertainment spaces bring it all together. Thoughtful seating arrangements, practical surfaces, and layered lighting that set the right tone. So we've talked about what makes a living room work for entertaining. But the truth is, most of us don't host every single day. More often, the living room is where we unwind, recharge, and spend time in a much more relaxed way. So let's shift into the other approach to designing a living room, which is creating a space made for lounging. When it comes to designing for relaxation, comfort is everything. This is the space where you want to sink in and truly feel at home. Think a deep sofa with room to stretch, with cushions you can really settle into, and soft and tactile layers like a cashmere throw draped casually over the arm, or textured pillows layered across the sofa. These details make the room instantly feel inviting. Even textures on the floor matter. Think a thick wool area rug that adds softness and makes the room feel grounded and inviting. In most homes, the living room is also where the TV lives. Movie nights, sports, and streaming marathons are a big part of how we use the space. And that's perfectly fine. The key is to integrate it thoughtfully so it doesn't take over the room. One option is for a frame TV that doubles as artwork when it's not in use, or you can build custom millwork around it, incorporating shelving, paneling, or even sliding doors to help it blend seamlessly into the design. Another simple trick is to balance it with art or make it part of a gallery wall. The goal is to place the TV where it makes sense for viewing, but not to let it completely dictate the layout. Now let's talk about lighting. For lounging, lighting shifts the atmosphere in a different way. Instead of filling the room with brightness, the goal is to create a calmer setting that's easy to unwind in. Overhead lighting on its own can feel too strong. Instead, use table or floor lamps on a dimmer and place them strategically to create a warm glow. Just avoid putting them directly opposite the TV where the light can reflect, or right next to it where it can feel too harsh. Even candles can add that extra layer of warmth and atmosphere that makes a room feel more intimate. Now, even in a space designed for comfort, there are common mistakes to avoid. That oversized sectional is probably the biggest one. It may feel cozy at first, but if it's too large for the room, it overwhelms the space and cuts off the natural flow. Another mistake is forgetting to balance comfort with style. The best lounging spaces don't just feel good, they also look cohesive and intentional, creating a space that looks just as good as it feels. Now, we've looked at what makes a living room great for entertaining, and we've talked about what makes it comfortable for lounging. But the reality is, most of us need our living rooms to do both. They're not just for one purpose, they have to shift with us depending on the day or occasion. So, how do you design a space that adapts? And the answer is having flexibility. Flexibility in design is what makes a living room truly versatile. It's about choosing furniture and elements that can adjust depending on whether you're hosting guests or settling in to relax. A pair of accent chairs that swivel toward the TV for movie night but angle towards the sofa for conversation when you're entertaining. Ottomans that work as footrests most days but double as extra seating when needed. Nesting tables that look styled in a quarter, but you can bring it into the room when extra surfaces are needed. These kinds of adaptable pieces let the room shift without losing flow. Zoning also plays a big role. Rugs and lighting are two of the easiest ways to create zones within a living room. A large rug anchors the main seating area, while a smaller accent rug can carve out a cozy corner for reading. Similarly, a floor lamp tucked into a corner transforms it into a lounge spot, while layering lighting in the main area keeps the space ready for guests. These cues help the room serve multiple functions without even feeling cluttered. Now, texture and color are what bring the room to life. Soft throws and layered fabrics create warmth and comfort for everyday living, while a bold piece of art, a statement coffee table, or a sculptural light fixture can elevate the energy of the room when you're entertaining. This combination ensures the space feels comfortable but still sophisticated. The best living rooms are the ones that adapt. They're comfortable enough for everyday living, but elevated enough for entertaining. If you're rethinking your own living room, start with flexibility and you'll create a space that works for every part of your life. Thanks so much for tuning into Design Unscripted. If you found today's episode helpful, share it with a friend and leave a quick review. It really helps others to discover the show. And for more visuals and inspiration, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I've linked it here in the show notes. And whether you're listening or watching, thank you so much for being here. See you next time.